We often want to change our lives, but sometimes we find ourselves setting the same goal every year. Setting goals is easy, but actually actioning them is the hardest part of it all. According to the statistics, it's found that 2/3 of the people who set their New Year's resolution do not accomplish their goals in 1 month's time. One thing we need to understand, the measure of intelligence is actually the ability to change. By the end of this video, you will know at least 5 tested and approved methods that will help you achieve your goal this year. Welcome and welcome back. My name is Janet and I'm the founder of Hope Searchlight, which is a platform that I've created to equip, empower, and encourage all generations globally with words of hope, faith, and love. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it among your friends and the people you love. I've divided this video in 3 segments. The first segment, I'll be talking about the goal setting principle. In the second segment, we will be talking on issues that will help you track your goal. After that, we'll break down into the mindset that you need to have when you're setting your goal. Let us begin with the first segment, where we'll be talking about the goal setting principle. One of the principles that you need to know is the characteristics of a goal that you set. It should be specific and it should be realistic. So I'm going to give an example in this case. So you have a goal at the end of the year to save a certain amount of money. So one of the things you need to consider, do not generalize your goal. Well, by this I mean that don't just say you need a certain amount of money. Specify the amount that you need. If it is 1 million, specify it and you write it down. It's 1 million that you want, right? Don't just say you need money saved at the end of the year. That is now the part of specifying your goal. So breaking down your specification of the goal. Number 2, on the characteristics of the goal that you need to have, it should be realistic to you. So the question you need to ask yourself, is me saving 1 million this year gonna be realistic? Depending on the income that I earn and depending on the opportunities that I'm going to get or I get. Or it depends also with your lifestyle. Do you think it's gonna be realistic for you to save that amount of money? So these are the things that you need to ask yourself when you set your goal. The second segment that we'll be addressing is how you need to track your goal. Back to our example where you need to save a certain amount of money, and this certain amount of money is 1 million. Like we've said, it's specified to be 1 million within a period of time that is 1 year, right? So you need to understand how you need to track yourself to reach that goal. This will mean that you have to break your goal into smaller chunks that are manageable. When you look at your goal in a block mindset where you accumulate everything, it's gonna be quite hard. So this elephant has to be chewed slowly by slowly. At the end, you'll finish it. So what you need to do, guys, you need to divide your goals into smaller chunks that are manageable. So don't think of it as a bigger picture at the end of the year. Break down that goal into smaller chunks where every month, for example, you need to save a certain amount. So you divide the amount by 12 to get every month how much you need to save. If it is weekly you want to work with, you can also divide the amount weekly so that you understand what you're working with to achieve that goal. By this, you're not going to be overwhelmed by that huge goal that you have, right? So this is one of the ways that can help you track your goal. Second point in how to track your goal is that you need to make sure that your goal is time bound. And by time bound, I mean that your goal has to be limited. Don't just generalize it, I need to save money, but for how long do you need to save money, right? So in this case, we're working with 1 year, for example. So when you're working with 1 year, that is your timeline. At the end of this 1 year, this is what I want to have accomplished. So having said that, when you have a goal and you've divided that into smaller chunks, you know where you're heading, and it's gonna be easier for you to trail where you're at when it comes to achieving your goal, right? So every month you understand, I'm not halfway there, but I'm going there, right? I'm 10% there, I'm 20% there. As you progress along the year, you realize that you're also saving and you're progressing towards that. And knowing that you have time bound limited to that, right? So this is one of the ways that will help you track your goal efficiently. Dr. Gail Matthew, who is a psychologist and a career coach at the University of Dominica at California, he had 5 groups with 5 participants, right? The first group, he told them to think of their goals. The 5th group, they were told to write down their goals and to find the actions they need to do to achieve their goals, find an accountability partner, and 4th, to set up a weekly check-in. All this group that had written their goals down had 67% capable of achieving whatever they thought, and those who thought it, they had 43% of achieving it. This will mean that writing your goals down is very important, and somehow it boosts your motivation to achieve your goals. The third segment will be addressing a few things in this case, and I think this is the most important part that you cannot miss: your mind, because what you think will determine how you feel and how you act, right? So when you're talking about mindset, when it comes to your goal, as human beings, you are naturally affected by the negative words given to us, and once in a while negativity will just creep in, right? Still working with our first example, where you need to save a certain amount of money at the end of the year. We are at the 3rd month, and when you set your goals, you had thought by this time of the year you will have saved a certain amount, you will have saved a certain amount of money, but that has not been happening really, has it? Because you mismanaged your money. Maybe the opportunities that you had did not come through, and you feel so overwhelmed. You feel like, after all, I said I'm going to save this amount of money, but I don't see it coming anytime soon. These are the things that are affecting your mindset, going to distract you from achieving your goal. Well, I suggest to you, number 1, there's nothing you can do about it apart from giving yourself grace. Understand, life happens, right? So instead of altogether giving up on that goal, well, how about you say, I might have slacked behind just a little bit, but I can catch up along the way. Having said all this, guys, I hope we've learned something, and you're going to incorporate a few of these so that you're able to achieve your goal at the end of the year. Do not give up. It's too early to give up. Giving up is not in our vocabulary. All we know is moving forward, above and beyond. Give yourself grace and continue on doing what you're supposed to do in achieving your goals. So thank you so much for listening. Hope you've been encouraged, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.